We have a special guest on the line with us today. I'm gonna let him introduce himself or who he is and what he does.
What's up, y'all? This is Speech from the crew Arrested Development. And yeah, artist, hip hop artist, been out since like the late 80s. You know what I mean? We got a brand new album called For the Effing Love that's out right now. It's on streaming services and we're proud. And, you know, it's good to spend some time with y'all tonight.
A legend in the building. Definitely thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
Man, thank you. Thank you for having me, y'all. For real.
So the new project that's out, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we just dropped it late last year. It's called For the Effing Love. It's basically like a celebration of hip hop music. It's Arrested Development's 15th record. And, you know, we got a lot of like top-notch legendary hip hop artists on this record. We got Big Daddy Kane. We got the Sugar Hill Gang. We got Moni Love, G Love. We got Fat Man Scoop, Master Ace. We got King Crooked. We got, you know, I'm probably missing a few, but those are the legendary ones. Then we got just some up and coming younger artists that are crazy dope. One named Del P out of Philly, another named Lish out of New York. You know, it's just one of those projects where we're celebrating hip hop music and it's a really special project. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was listening to it and I got through the first couple ones and yeah, it was some voices that I wasn't directly familiar with, but I liked the flow that was going. And then I got to Fat Man Scoop, Master Ace, and I was like, oh, let me check the discography real quick and see the rundown. And my first thought was that had to be crazy. Obviously, you're a legend. You got a bunch of legends in the building with you. What was it like bringing all that together? You know, making that special sauce with so much history in it.
Yeah, you know, it's always cool when you could do a song with people that you admire, you know, peers of yours and like legends in this hip hop industry. But it's even better when it really works. Like Bumpy Knuckles is another one that's on there. Freddie Fox, Bumpy Knuckles. Like, for instance, on the song that we did with him, it really fits. Like a lot of people would be surprised Arrested Development would do something with some of these artists. And it's like, nah, this is like hip hop at its finest, you know, and the tracks really dictated which artists we wanted to work with. And so, yeah, just really proud of how it all came together and it fits so well, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Sounds so different because obviously you guys took us back to a lot of that old school flavor with it. So like the concepts, obviously that's probably directed, you know, by you guys, the direction that you wanted to take the album in. So going into the process, like what was the theme that you really thought about when you started to think around this?
Well, a few things. One is that, you know, people that grew up on hip hop music as, you know, when they were children and now they're adults, you know, like they're over 40 or over 35. They don't really get serviced anymore. There's not a lot of hip hop that caters to our sensibilities and to what we consider great hip hop. So this album is catered to that particular market, you know, and we love younger people that get into it. Like we respect that and love that, but it's really catered towards those that's been around hip hop their whole life. You know what I mean? So, so that's what we were really thinking of, is just making sure we represent the lovers of hip hop that's been in this for over 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel you. The new wave is the new wave. You know what I mean? Respect to all the young tigers that's out there getting it and tigresses, you know what I mean? Because definitely the women have come a long way in the game, but to go back and listen to something, kind of have that old school flavor, you know what I mean? It was different, but it was familiar. So as soon as I put it on in the house, you know, my wife was like, you know, that sound like some old school right there, you know what I mean? But when she started listening to it, she was like, all right, that was a little different. So definitely, I think you guys did a great job of trying to, you know, update some of the legends and put them all in the same building. So I was definitely surprised to hear so many collabs definitely on this. So did you have the intention to go into it and put so many collabs on it, or is that just kind of something that materialized?
No, it was definitely intentional. You know, we knew we we knew we wanted this to celebrate hip hop. And
Okay.
so we knew we wanted to have, some really great and powerful collaborations. Like we released the single with Kane, which by the way it was #1 on the charts in Canada for a week or two. And I'm very proud of that. It was #1. Our song Vibe with Big Daddy Kane, Cleveland P. Jones, and Tasha LaRae was #1 also on the Hip Hop Gods charts here in the United States. So anyway, we knew that it was a special collaboration, and we dropped it the day after the verses with him and Big Daddy, him and Harris One. So, we rode the wave of that momentum, and it felt incredible. And so many people are rocking to that record, So, yeah, it was definitely intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you obviously Kane, a legend. A lot of people, legendary or newer, definitely would love to be, in the booth or in the room collabing with them. Like, obviously, we don't want to single anybody out, but like, what was the most fun vibe? Like, who had the most fun vibe to work with on this project? Would you say?
That's a great question because we didn't get a chance to do stuff in the same room. You know what I'm saying? Because of COVID. The whole pandemic made that pretty much, a null and void type of situation. So we didn't get a chance to vibe in that way. But I would say that, the Kane joint was one of the most memorable sort of things that we landed, because when you're working with legends, it's not like you could just call them and they'll guarantee to be on the record. They may want to, but they may be busy, or they may cost too much. They may, maybe they're not rhyming anymore on guest spots, or maybe they're not rhyming anymore, period. So that happens. I called certain people who have been at this for a long time, and they were like, nah, I'm not even doing any features or anything. I'm not even making my own records anymore. So that happens. So, it's one of those things where it's you put your ducks out there, and you hope that everything works out. You put your cards out there, I should say, and you hope that everything works out, and it did. We got pretty much everybody we wanted. There was one artist, Royce da 5'9", that I talked to. Well, two, Royce da 5'9" and Redman, we was trying to get on here, and we just couldn't make that happen. But outside of that, pretty much everybody we wanted, we got on here. Yeah.
Well, that's good stuff. I imagine, it's so much love, seems like going around in the old school segment of the industry right now. So definitely, I'm always excited to see the legends come together, work it out. Because we understand it's a business, but at the end of the day, when people have good intentions to put out some good music, man, it usually comes out dope. So definitely celebrate hip hop, celebrating you guys as legends for coming together and doing that. Because some people could be set in their ways with the ego. So definitely to see people, you put it on the shelf and do what they got to do to make the people happy. Definitely is something we love to see over here.
Me too. Yeah, I believe in that wholeheartedly, bro.
Yeah. So obviously you guys are albums in at this point. You mentioned COVID, was the timeline for making this. So what would you say kind of made this one different? Obviously COVID probably restricted some things, but kind of speak to that and how this was a different process than probably your normal.
Yeah, COVID changed everything, but I'll be honest, I owe COVID this album and our album right before this called Don't Fight Your Demons, both classic records, both, nominated as Album of the Year. Bottom line is COVID made these records because it slowed me down, it slowed the group down. We normally would be touring so much that making these albums would be pretty tough. And we were obviously really, really on ice. And so everybody had time to sort of vibe. And I got a chance to meet a great friend and producer named Kafiga during this pandemic. And he's in the UK. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So we were able to collaborate a lot on that, on our Don't Fight Your Demons album, which was released in 2020. And then even more, way more for the F and Love record that's out now. So, I mean, it totally changed our sort of way of approaching this, albums and stuff like that.
Yeah. Any positives come out of that? Anything you can take from that? You know, I'm a big believer in trying to learn from your experiences and find some silver linings to take forward. Any positives that you see came out of that process, maybe implementing going forward, you might kind of lean on?
That's a great question. You know, the positives is the material itself, and
Okay.
you know, just very grateful for it. You know, we've got a lot of fans that are really reconnected with Arrested Development because of these albums. So very grateful for that. Another thing I take away from it is, you know, that it could be done. We've been doing this 30 years. Like this year marks the 30th year anniversary of our first album. The 3 years, 5 months, 2 days in the life of album is 30 years old right now. So, so it could be done that you could have 30 years in this music industry and still make an impact on with all new material, you know what I mean? And the concerts, like for instance, we go to Europe in April next month, and we got over 35, 36 dates in Spain, UK, you know, Paris, France, all of these various places, Germany, you know. So it's exciting to know that, you know, 30 years later, we're still making that kind of impact.
Oh, that's dope. 30 years. Ooh. So 31 years ago, you go back and you're talking to 31 years later speech. What do you say to him?
That's a great question because, you know, I don't say too much. He did pretty darn good. You know what I'm saying? I would tell him, you know, look out for the group members and making sure that you're doing all that you could do to keep them all together, keep everybody united. I would tell them, take your time on that second release. We did an album called Zingala Maduni in 94, and it's a dope record, but I would have told him, don't release that just yet. Like, take more time, take your time. Cause like, you know, our first album sold 4 million albums. And so when you sell that kind of albums and make that kind of money for the label, they try to push you to put more product out in order to make their quarterly reports and, you know, projections and stuff. So they sort of rushed us to hurry up and put out new music so that we could make numbers. And, you know, and I was new to the industry at that time. I didn't really fight back the way I should have. So I would tell that younger speech, you know, take your time, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like every record, if it takes you 2 years, just do that. You know what I mean? So that's what I would probably say.
Okay. So a little bit of patience and let things marinate for a second sometimes.
Let it marinate. You got to live life. You got to, you know, sew up the ripped or torn patches, you know, in a group and whatever people are going through in a group. Make sure you know, sew that up and take your time, do it right. You know what I mean? So that's what I would have said.
Gotcha. A lot of life lessons between now and when you started on this journey a little while back. Let's talk about the group for a second. How many members are currently in the group?
It's 5 of us now. It's me. Let's see, 4 or 5. It's me, One Love, JJ Boogie, and Farida. So it's 4 of us. But what we do is like there's 4 actual group members, and then we rock with a band. So I bring out I think 4 other members. Not I think, it is 4 other members. So it's 8 of us on stage, but 4 of us are actual group members. And then the other 4 are hired to tour with us so that we can rock together. So and I'm the only original member in the present lineup. Like I'm the only dude that was there back in the 90s. So like the rest of them have been there anywhere from like 20 years to, you know, 15 years ago, stuff like that. Yeah.
So they're still deep in the whole history.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We've made many records together. Like all of this entire entourage, including the people that we just hired, we've made records, you know what I'm saying? And we've toured the world together. We've made even landmark records. So, you know, it's all love.
Okay. Well, obviously, people are familiar with your works. You know, they're still singing some of the original concepts and things that you wanted to put out there so many years ago. When you started out and you guys were writing those, like my mind always takes me back to Mr. Wendell, right? Like Mr. Wendell was just so different than anything that people had ever heard before. When I first heard that record, like I felt why they felt that way. And it's almost a timeless piece to the point where, at least, you know, to this point up in life, I can say you can put any generation to that and let them listen to it, and they can feel the originality that came from it. So when you started out this journey, obviously that was early on. So I you know, make an assumption would think that that played in line with what you wanted to put out to the world. Like, how has the concept changed over the years, or grown, or just kind of speak to how that process has been with your original concept versus where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, everything is relative, because like back in the late 80s, early 90s, when we were starting, the music landscape was so much more variety. There was a lot of variety. So you had, you know, groups like Public Enemy and Boogie Down Productions, KRS One, all the way to Two Live Crew, MC Hammer, and, you know, so you just had a lot of diversity in hip hop. And because of that, if you're an artist that loves that art form, you feel like you could do anything. You could do a little bit anywhere in between all of the stuff that you already know is out there. And not only was it out there, because it's out there now even, but the difference between now and then is that it was out there and it was mainstream. Like, it was promoted. It was on the radio full time. We were doing tours together, and there was a different type of diversity in the mainstream consciousness of hip hop, not just underground stuff. You have to search for it, or you got to know where to find it. None of that type stuff. It was like X Clan, which was talking about Egypt and Egyptology, Hotep, and, you know, Nubia. Like, this was stuff that was actually selling units. This was stuff that was doing real tours. Public Enemy was selling millions of records, and they're talking about Chesimard or Black Panthers or Farrakhan. I mean, that was a different era. So what we're doing now is the same thing, but it's just not as accepted in the mainstream paradigm. And so it's not as promoted, you know what I mean? Now, you know, it's sort of relegated to the underground, or it's relegated to whoever can find it type of thing. And that's detrimental, you know, in numerous ways. To the music, it's detrimental to Black people, and it's detrimental to, you know, just even other people's perceptions of hip hop and Black people.
How do we get it back? Because obviously it didn't consume all of the mainstream, right? There's always going to be that bubblegum side, or there's always going to be that hardcore side that just, you know, they both sell. So when people at the top are making business decisions, looking at dollar signs, they're going to go in one of those two directions. So everybody that's in the middle, especially the people who are dead center trying to bring that consciousness, how do we get back to where at least they had a share of the mainstream marketplace, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, see, you know, that's the misconception. You know, I think people think that stuff wasn't selling. A lot of people in the new generations think, well, it's all about the money. People, you know, the labels go where the money is, and that's not true. You know, like I said, Arrested Development sold 4 million albums. You know, the Fugees sold 10 million albums. Lauryn Hill sold 12 million albums. That's better. That's better than Hammer. No, it's not better than Hammer. It's better than a lot of popcorn stuff. It's better than Tone Loc. It's better than, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's better than, you know, a lot of the pop stuff that was happening at the time. So I say that to say record labels, especially ones that aren't owned by us, they make a conscious decision on what they are willing to put their money behind.
Okay.
We as a people, so you ask, how do you change it? We as a people have to start making conscious decisions, not just based on money, because they're not making decisions always based on money. They will leave money behind. They'll leave money, stacks of money, in order to maintain their agenda of what they want to promote to the world. I've seen them do it. And so we as a people have to become more shrewd to where we're willing to promote what we feel is best for us and support what we feel is best for us and not just go with the flow. Because if you go with the flow is being created by somebody. And unfortunately, many times it's not us.
Yeah. And that story has played out so many times over and over in the history of our people that it gets a little frustrating. We like the shiny things, but the truth hurt our feelings, and now we live in a society where you can't hurt people's feelings, so it makes it a little harder to give people realness, and they actually can digest it. So
it's very true, very true. You know what I'm saying? We have been conditioned to not appreciate the truth if it makes us upset or if it pricks us a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But we've got to change that because our lives depend on it, our children's lives, the future, and that's just how it is. We've got to change it.
Yeah. Last thing anybody wants to do is be canceled. Unfortunately, that's the strongest tool they have right now. They'll just shut you off. Right person say cancel you, you cancel. So we'll evolve and we'll grow as a society one day where people can make up their own minds, hopefully, and that cancel culture is not so strong. But right now, it's got a stranglehold.
Yeah, so the cancel culture, and I got a documentary on YouTube that I want y'all viewers and listeners to check out. It's called The Nigga Factory, and it's very powerful, very dope. I think a lot of your viewers and listeners will find the value in it, and then some might be very angry and upset when they see it. So it's free. It's on YouTube. It's called The Nigga Factory. Can't miss it. And it's got over 1 million views throughout different platforms. It's a really powerful piece. And it addresses how intentional the labels have been in keeping knowledge from becoming mainstream and becoming too popular again. So yeah, peep it out.
Wow. I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you for dropping those gems.
No doubt.
So obviously you guys got the new project that's out. What else is going on in the world of speech right now? What other type of things you got working on over there in your bag?
You know what? I'm just proud, man. I'm proud of the music, proud of the project. And, it's For the Effing Love is the new album. Just proud of it. I got kids. I got 2 children, and both of them I'm proud of. My daughter is starring in a movie that's coming out on Amazon Prime on March 18th. It's called Master. It's starring Regina Bell and my daughter, Zoe. So that's going to be crazy dope. You'll probably start seeing commercials for that. And then my son is a graphic designer, and he's like doing some incredible work for a lot of corporations. And I'm just, I got artists in my, in my house, and it's cool. It's like, so, and it makes me so proud as a father and as a, I don't know, just as a fellow artist, you know what I mean? It's just incredible.
Yeah. Passing on that creative spirit to the next generation. That's dope.
It is. And we didn't force it. Like me and my queen didn't force it, They really wanted it. They wanted it. And that makes me really proud.
Yeah. Yeah. When you can sit back and see them develop into their own person, that's gotta be cool.
It is. Very.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Real quick, give them your social media where they can follow you, where they can reach out, and all the people tag along with you.
Yeah. So you can get on my social media at speech__. And that's my Twitter and my Instagram. And then our website is real simple. It's arresteddevelopmentmusic.com. It's got everything from hoodies to hats to vinyl records to, of course, everything. So concert dates, all of that.
Okay. They get their merch on a little bit with you.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
I'm wearing one of our t-shirts right now. This is Revolution, Arrested Development, our t-shirts. Yeah.
Dope. That's dope. Real quick, shout out the name of the project so everybody can go to the DSPs, add you to the playlist. Definitely stream it, run up the numbers on that for you.
Yeah, it's called For the Effing Love by Arrested Development. Go to any streaming service you want, pull up Arrested Development. It's our newest album. And peep out the song you love the most, add it to your playlist, add numerous ones from this album on your playlist, and let's run up those numbers. I agree with you. We just dropped a dope video even this morning, actually. It's a lyric video to one of the songs. So yeah.
Definitely, I'm gonna have to check that out. Good stuff, man. Definitely. Thank you for taking time, out of your busy schedule of raising young kings and queens, and definitely raising your community up as always, and being positive and putting out music that's definitely going to live on for the generations. Seeing you guys and all these legends come together, like I said, it made me feel some type of way. So definitely, thank you for taking time out to speak with us. We're gonna close it out. Usually, you get 2 questions. You just got me right now, so you just get one of our random question to close it out. So I'll say this. So you get everything you want from here on out. You've been getting it for the past 30 years, right? So you flash forward 10 generations from now in the speech line. What is the one message that you want to carry out through your family from here to there that you think would be the most important to kind of keep your people moving positive?
Yeah, that you matter. You matter. Okay. That's it. 2 words. You matter.
It's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So definitely, once again, my brother, Speech, definitely thank you for taking your time today. Definitely stream the new Arrested Development project. Definitely. Are we gonna see you going out on the tour anytime soon?
Yeah, it starts April. It starts actually late this month. We're doing Georgia, then we go all throughout Europe. Spain, Italy, France, UK, everywhere. Yeah.
Gotcha. And what's the best way for them to link up with the tour?
Go to arresteddevelopmentmusic.com and we'll hook you up with all the dates. You can get your swag, get your gear, get some vinyl records, and get prepared. It's going to be crazy. Upper energy, high energy show. It's going to be great.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So definitely, man, everybody check in with Speech, check in with Arrested Development. A lot of positive things going on. Again, my brother, wishing you guys positive success in 2022. Thank you guys for tuning in for Where It Begins Magazine. Definitely another dope episode of bringing it to you, and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.